So you clicked on this video because you want to make a png-tuber. Well, you're in luck, because I'm making one of my own and I want to talk through my process of making one. I'll be talking about my character design process, what sprites I made, and then actually loading up veadotube Mini. Go to the timecode on the screen if you want to skip the design process and go straight to the png-tuber technical side. If not, onto the art. Going into this project, there was a couple things I wanted to make sure that I did. I wanted to have a cohesive brand for myself, using what I would consider a house color or aesthetic. I ended up wanting to do an ethereal nature elvish vibe, so I ended up taking some inspiration from Lord of the Rings as well as druids from D&D. I also wanted to make my png-tuber very androgynous since I'm gender fluid and I really like the idea of having long hair with a more sculptured face. Using all of this, I ventured into making a mood board with things like fashion inspiration, accessory inspiration, and hairstyle inspiration. Unfortunately, Pinterest is riddled with AI, and there's going to be some AI images on here. I hate AI, but I just don't know how to unfilter AI on Pinterest, so I just might have some on there. Once the mood board was created, I ended up doing some rough designs just to work out what I specifically wanted my character to look like. After that was done, I moved on to making a finalized design. I ended up creating a color palette which consisted on brownish greens to give a kind of woodland vibe to it. So really going heavy on the nature theme. So why was the house color important to me? Well, I'm planning on creating a webcomic series which hopefully will release late spring, early summer of 2025. And while I was researching other webcomics, I found that a lot of creators actually had what I would consider a house color, which was a color they used regularly enough that it started to be associated with them. And I kind of wanted to do that too. You can see that I ended up diverting from my final design. I sat on the design for a few days and realized it wasn't androgynous enough for me, so I shifted a few things around. I also made the colors more saturated and less brown tone, just so that they would stand out more on a screen. Once you've got your character, you'll want to download the veadotube Mini, which I've got linked in the description. Once you have the program open, you'll see on the right of the screen a little box. You're going to want to press it. Once you have it clicked, you'll see 4 different sections. Closed mouth image, open mouth image, closed mouth blinking image, and open mouth blinking image. These are going to be the sprites that you're making. Click on one, replace it with your own image. Do this 3 more times and you've got yourself a working png-tuber. After that, you can play around with the state effects. This is basically personal preference. But for example, I only really like a small amount of jump between my frames just to keep it interesting. I have wave move on just so when I stop talking, they still move around a little bit. After that, you just need to save your avatar, name it accordingly, and then head over to OBS. Once you're in OBS, you're going to want to create a new scene. Game capture or display capture works for this, but I'll be using game capture. Under sources, add specific window, veadotube Mini, and then allow transparency. You might have to mess around with the green screen. If you do, right click, filters, effect filters, chroma key. Then you can just move it around the screen and you've got yourself a working png-tuber. Hey! You can also add your sprite doing different things just by copying the different state, then redoing your images. For example, now I've added a rage version of my png-tuber. Plus, I also have just a weirded out guy. So if you'd noticed earlier, you can create a shortcut, which you can keybind. So once you put in keybinds that don't really get used, you can just switch between them all. So for example, I have mine on F10, F11, and F12. This one's my favorite one. And that is how I made my png-tuber. I hope this was helpful for some people. I had a lot of fun doing this, especially with my different sprites. Thank you so much for watching.